Hey folks, I'm Jody White, and I'm joined today by Buddy Gross. Right after he won the Walmart FLW Tour event on Pickwick Lake, we got out in the water to see how he did it.
Alrighty, so buddy, let's do this. I want to see how it's fished. I want to maybe catch one. I want to see it all.
Let's see if there's one out here then.
You told me it happened.
I warned you about that though.
You did. You warned me 100%. It was. I knew it was probably going to happen too.
I should have fixed it for you before I give it to you. But see, right now, every morning out here too, though, I did start on the outside. I have to make an exceptionally long cast to hit the eelgrass. But I was catching smallmouth mixed in with some largemouth out here, and it's just a harder bottom. I'm sure this is the shell part of it. But this is what's key for the early bite, and then I'd start hitting the eelgrass when this bite stops. So we're probably like 60, 70 yards above the eelgrass, but every day I'd catch one here except for yesterday.
All right. And you just crank it off and then let it sit back down?
The way I did it this time, and there are other people fish it different, but what worked for me, I would throw it out, let it go to the bottom, and then I just mix up my retrieves, maybe 5 cranks, maybe 4 cranks, sometimes 8 cranks, and then I just stop it, let it fall, and most of my bites is on the fall. It was almost like it was as much reaction as anything, but when they were out here feeding on these, the shad spawn, I think whenever they blow through them, they kill 2 or 3, and they'd just be falling back down, and I think everything I was catching was looking for the ones that they'd already blasted through and looking for the easy meal. So, but when they'd get it, they weren't playing. The only thing that I could see a big difference was the smallmouth might hit it 3 or 4 times sometimes before they'd get it. And I'd have to go again, let it fall, and it was killing me. You'd want to set the hook, but you couldn't set the hook on the smallmouth or you'd miss them. I mean, if you didn't stop and let it fall again, they would just be gone. They would never come back. So I could almost tell when it was a smallmouth because it hit it a time or two most of the time. So it was.
Now you're fishing a 1 ounce head out here, yes. Which for it only being 10 feet deep or so seems pretty heavy, but you can fish it real fast that way.
That's why I did it. I was trying to cover as much water as I could in the early morning. Us blasting off, it's like, we don't leave at safe light. We leave 45 minutes after safe light, so we're missing a lot of that early morning shad spawn bite, so I was having to get all I could get when I got here. But I think I just, really and truly, I think I run out of fish, because the first day I could catch them later in the day, second day was an earlier thing, and then third day was just an exceptional day. It was kind of all day if I wanted to be here, I think, but it was, after that, it was just gone, kind of.
Yeah, so buddy, those first 3 days, I mean, you caught 25 pounds the first day, over 20 the next 2 days. Were you catching big numbers of fish? Were you catching them all off this one area, or did you kind of have to mix it up a little bit?
The first day, I didn't catch a lot of fish. I think I caught 6 keepers.
Oh man, they were the right ones.
They were the right ones, and they all came from here. Day 2, I think I caught 6 keepers and lost 1. And the one I did lose was a really, really big fish. I think I'd have been in the, I don't know, I hate to say, but it would have been a lot. I think I'd have been up 4 pounds.
It would have been huge.
Yeah, it was big. And it come to the boat, everything was fine. It come right in front of the trolling motor, and it took a hard surge, and I didn't push my thumb bar fast enough, and it just pulled loose. I mean, but it was a for real big one. I think the first day I had a 2 pounder too, so a 2 pound even in the bag. So I mean, if I'd have just, some things could have been different. I think I could have had a real big bag first day, but like I said, I was fortunate, got the win. Good Lord blessed us, is all I can say. But it was some awesome fishing. I mean, everything I set the hook in was just big. I mean, it was kind of fun.
Now that third day, you had another spot found. You kind of mixed it up a little bit.
Yeah, I had it every day before, but I didn't really have to go to it, and the wind was pounding it pretty good too. The way I needed to fish it, I couldn't really set up on it right because the wind was blowing straight up the river, and I needed to be throwing up the river, so I couldn't sit on the spot. I had to actually blow, you know, the drift. Whenever you get on it, you just couldn't hold it. So I didn't get to fish it till the third day, and on the third day, it was actually easier than this ever dared to be. I mean, you just made the one exact cast, and you got bit almost every cast. But it was a swim bait bite, which I love. I still love a swim bait.
Yeah, they can be pretty unbeatable, that's for sure.
Yes. And today the wind's blowing the opposite direction. It's never blew this direction. So they may swap over to the other side.
What's the eelgrass feel like when you make a cast in it with this? Or will you even feel it?
You'll feel it. If you don't bury it, I mean, if you're coming across the top of it, it'll just feel like a little hard spot. But if you get up in it, it'll be a little mushy. Then you jerk it one hard time, 99% of the time it frees it out.
Okay.
And if not, it'll just have a string or two come in with it. But it's real crispy. It breaks up pretty easy. If it, you know, the strands are long, but as soon as you hit it, it breaks pretty easy. We're fixing to get down here underneath some of it and see if I can show you.
Alrighty. I mean, this spot you're fishing, the eelgrass is in, let's say, like 8 to 10 feet. Is that as deep as it'll grow, or can you find it out, you know, a lot deeper? 10
feet's about the deepest I've ever found it.
Okay.
But a lot of times it'll grow like up in a flat, like at the flat up above us. Your high drill will be up on the shallow humps, and that eelgrass will start to grow in the actual the ditch.
In the troughs.
Mm-hmm. I tell you what it is, it's a good current break because it lays over. And when it lays over, they've got a pocket behind it as wide as the patch to sit in.
They can sit down behind it.
Sit down in the ambush. And from what I can tell, current does not bother it. I mean, it's, you know, if we get a real strong flood, high driller or especially milfoil, coontail always, it'll pick up.
It'll get torn up.
Yeah. But the eelgrass, it just kind of lays over and flows with it. It just looks like it's waving at you. It's going to weather the storm. We should be able to hit some of it right in there. But my units were key because I could ride circles around this stuff. I could get down from it, throw at it. When the wind was blowing up the river, I could sit down and throw downriver, and I could always be in, you know, my key spot all the time.
Yeah, you could. I mean, you could know your position just by looking on your graph, looking at your trails, your stars. I like that you've got stars for your GPS marks, for your waypoints. That's yeah, I think that's a nice touch.
And
that was, I assume, some eelgrass?
You might have a little bit on there if you hit it.
I probably shouldn't have jerked it. I probably could have just dragged it in.
And then I use on my marks, I try to put, if I find grass, I'll make it a green mark so I know I don't have to guess what mark I've got. And then if it's some kind of hard structure that I'm wanting to throw at, I'll put a different color. And if it's a ditch, I'll put a blue mark just so I just kind of, that way when I get somewhere, I know what I'm looking at a quick glance instead of having to name everything. I have a lot of my waypoints don't have names because I know what I'm looking for.
Yeah, you just got a number and a symbol.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I race in my numbers. I try to keep all the clutter off if I can. I leave a number on new stuff till I figure out if it's going to be worth keeping, and that way if I hit it a time or two, don't like it, then I'll just take it off.
I found some eelgrass.
Yep, that's it. Nice and crispy.
You can see, I mean, there's a hydrilla in there, which we don't need that. Get out of here. And that's the juice. Kind of like that stuff you'd find in the ocean. So you had the hair jig. That was obviously super important. What was your tackle setup to make it all work?
The hammer rod 7.3 extra heavy, which was the rod that actually would, you could feel the sensitive bites, and I had the loose reel with a 6/8 to 1 ratio, the Tournament Pro, and a 17-pound P-line.
All right.
Fluorocarbon. It was, I just want to be able to feel everything. I'm not a big braid guy, so I'm still, only time I use braids is Florida.
Is that rod pretty parabolic?
It's very parabolic. I mean, if, you know, big fish and heavy fish, you know, you'll feel it bend all the way down to the reel seat nearly. I mean, it's a pretty cool deal. But what happens is when the fish tries to throw you bait and they jump or whatever, this parabolic rod is, what I've learned is this keeps me from losing as many fish.
Okay, it just soaks them up.
It does, and it's forgiving. I mean, if you make a little bit of an error on, you know, fighting your fish, it takes up the slack for you. So, and durable. These rods are very, very durable. I've not, knock on wood, I used to be pretty bad about breaking rods, but I've not even come close to breaking one of these. They're an awesome rod. Had some shad come in that time, so we found a little bit of that. The first couple of days of the tournament, though, especially in practice, this whole bar would be nothing but working on fire. It looked like it was boiling water.
Just with all the shad?
Yes, it was the biggest shad spawn that I've witnessed. And fish wouldn't be feeding on them on top or nothing, but they were getting eaten under the surface. I guess they didn't have to go far. There was that many shad.
How do you find this spot in practice? I mean, were you just covering your bases and trying to idle everything you could? Or was it a matter of you got out there and you kind of knew what you wanted to look for once you knew you were looking for eelgrass?
That's what I did, but I come on this bar actually just looking to see if there was anything up on it. And then I seen the first patch of it. I was like, I know what that is. So I marked that one and I said, well, let me throw at it. And I threw at it and caught a 6-pound smallmouth. So I was like, holy cow. And I was like, stopped fishing immediately, and then I started idling. I'd even idle a little bit after dark every night, just trying to cover some of it. And I think I idled from the upper side of this island to the bridge. I think I know about every square inch of it.
Man.
I mean, this is a pretty cool place. It's got tons of ditches, tons of grass, tons of stumps. I mean, it's got everything they need. And I felt like anything that was trying to go to the river to get out to its deep water haunts for the summer, I felt like they'd stop here on the way out.
Okay. Now, before the tournament, what did you feel like the potential of the spot was? I mean, did you really think that you had a winning type spot, or were you just kind of thinking, I got a spot I'm going to go start on and see what happens?
Well, ironically, I started on another place that's right up here. There's a ditch that cuts through the hydrilla, and I had an awesome practice on it. I'm talking like 4 casts I made on it. I had like 2 3s and a 4 and during the day, and then I come back. I said, well, that had to be a shad spawn deal, and I come back that afternoon at like 5 o'clock and hit it and caught a 7-pounder. I was like, well, maybe it wasn't just a shad spawn deal. So I said, I'm gonna start there. I got lucky and I got it, and I could see it from here. I mean, I could see this place from where I was fishing, and I seen a guy stop closer to the buoy up here, and he looked like he was on about where the other boat's sitting up here in front of us. There's a hydrilla point. It runs all over the island. It just funnels straight down just like the island does. And I thought he was on it, and the more I looked, I said, dang, he might be down there on that place. And I kept looking, and about that time he left. And when he left, I came down here, and I'm talking about in the first day, it was 10 o'clock before I made the first, well, it wasn't 10, probably 9, before I made the first cast in this place. And I still caught on the first day, so that's what was weird. It was a late bite the first day, and then it was earlier the second day, and it was even earlier the third day. So it was...
We probably should have been here in the dark then today.
Yeah, it was changing, I'm serious. It changed. I couldn't believe how much it was going away.
You catch them here in practice?
Or I didn't, I just seen them. I could see them.
You could see them down there?
Yes, I mean, it was like that perfect spot on a break that you don't even want to turn around and look at it again, afraid somebody see you. That was that kind of spot. I mean, I knew I was going to catch them here, and I never did.
Man. Are they still down there and just not eating, or are they just not there?
I wonder if we didn't. There's one. It was the same kind of bite. It was right.
Oh man. Been in. He's a keeper.
But you just hit it, let it fall back down, tick.
No kidding.
That's not the same kind we were catching, but same deal.
Everyone counts, right?
That's right.
That's pretty cool. If only this spot had worked too in the tournament, right?
If I'd have had that fish yesterday, I could have rode back feeling a lot better.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Just that one fish.
That's pretty cool.
Remember I hit the eelgrass, jerk, fall, and just.
As soon as it dropped back down after you cleared it.
It's a perfect bite. I mean, it's something that sometimes that fires them up once you catch the one too. If there's any more, it happened pretty fast.
It's so cool that you can be out on a ledge that's miles long and hundreds of yards from the bank, and you're actually targeting, you know, a clump of grass that's maybe the size of the front deck of the boat.
That's about all it is. Good example of all these I've showed you today is probably the size of the hood of a pickup or something. That's really about how big it is. That's how I got it pictured.
All right, well, we're done here on Pickwick. It's been a phenomenal time learning a little bit about eelgrass, seeing how you caught them, seeing how you won this tournament. Thanks so much for the time.
Oh, I enjoyed it. Look forward to seeing you guys again.
All right, well, we'll see you at Kentucky Lake just a little bit from now, that's for sure.
Can't wait to get there.
All right, thanks for the time.
Thank you, buddy.